The US campaign against Iran is not just notable for the volume of strikes. Munitions analysts say America is showcasing new variants, first-time deployments, and lessons drawn from recent wars. I discussed 3 things of note with one expert.
The first footage was of Tomahawk land attack cruise missiles being fired from US destroyers. The interesting thing about Tomahawk is that there was 1 or 2 pictures showing something unique, though, which was a Tomahawk that appeared to have sort of a black coating on it, which is something that we have not seen before. There were also videos taken of Tomahawks flying over Iran, showing their wings swept forward, which is not the typical configuration of the wings on a Tomahawk cruise missile. So those 2 things indicated that there may be some, at least 1 or 2 new variants of the Tomahawk missile. And for me, the more interesting one is the black one, which indicates that it may be sort of a low-observable variant. It's the same kind of coating that we see on a different American cruise missile called the Long-Range Anti-Ship Missile, LRASM. And it has that black coating to make it less visible to any radars.
And this was also a first.
The precision strike missiles, that's a new aeroballistic ground-launched missile, and there was 1 picture published by CENTCOM showing that missile being fired from a HIMARS somewhere in the Middle East. So that was quite notable for me as somebody that tracks that program quite closely. That was notable to see that's being deployed for the very first time, because it's fairly new. The United States Army's probably only received about 80 of those missiles to date from the manufacturer, so they've evidently elected to use that for the first time.
This analyst says there are plenty of lessons learned from the Ukraine conflict that are being applied to what we're seeing unfolding in Iran.
As far as the ballistic missile defense goes, specifically around Patriot, the United States Army continues to learn a lot of lessons from the Ukrainian experience. They train the Ukrainians to use Patriot, and in some ways the Ukrainians are sort of the foremost experts now because they have had so much experience dealing with Russian ballistic missile threats. Obviously, American Patriot crews now are getting a lot of experience of their own dealing with the Iranians, but there's a lot of lessons learned sort of in both directions now at this point. But the United States has definitely been better prepared to deal with what's coming out of Iran because of the fact that the Ukrainians have been operating Patriot, and a lot of lessons learned come back from that. In another respect, when we look at the Shaheds, and using the UAE as an example, the last figures I saw from their Ministry of Defense were that basically all the missiles were being intercepted, but the few leaks that they've had have been the Shaheds. So, as I've been saying, this is kind of interestingly sort of the weak point, even though it's the lowest cost, lowest tech weapon that the Iranians have due to the mass and just the fact that, sometimes having a small, simple system can more easily slip through the cracks of an integrated air and missile defense network that's more focused on those higher-end ballistic threats. That's somewhere where I think the United States and allies still need to do some work in learning from the tactics that the Ukrainians have adopted to more effectively deal with that threat.
It's clear Operation Epic Fury has involved several firsts. As it unfolds, we may well see other examples of new variants and new approaches to the ever-evolving modern-day battlefield.
Thanks for watching. For more from BFBS Forces News, like and subscribe to our channel.